Hello, and a big warm welcome to the Bliss and Thrive podcast. It is your host, Caris Anderson here. I'm really excited that you're joining me today. I am going to bust some myths today. I have got 15 health and fitness, nutrition, training myths that need to be chucked out the window and absolutely go and die because they're not true. So first of all, I just want to say a big, huge thank you to everyone who listens to the podcast, who mentions me in their stories, mentions the podcast in their stories on Instagram, who pops me a message and just says they're enjoying it. Like, it means so much to me. If you're listening on iTunes right now, if you leave a 5-star review, you're going to help this podcast grow so much. We made it to number 10 in fitness in the UK, guys. It's really exciting for me, and I absolutely love doing this podcast. I love connecting with you all. I feel like I know exactly who I'm chatting to, and it's really, really fun for me. So yeah, leave a review if you're over on YouTube, subscribe, like, do all the good stuff, and share with your friends. Like, maybe they need this info as well. Anyway, enough of that business. Let's get into these myths. Number 1, it's a phrase that I hear quite a lot. Okay, so our first myth is the myth of toning. So I often hear that people don't want to get bulky, they just want to tone. I don't need to lose any fat, I just want to tone. But the thing is, when you are toning or going for that toned look, you are losing fat and you are building muscle. That is what a toned look is. So you have muscles on your body. Right now, you wouldn't be able to sit up, you wouldn't be able to walk, you wouldn't be able to do anything if you didn't have any muscles pulling your bones, okay? So when you look toned, it's just that the fat that's covering those muscles, goes away and we get to see those muscles underneath. And for some people, that's the look they want to create. Not for everybody, but for some people it is. And so we basically need to lose the fat, but we also might want to build our muscles a little bit in the process so that they look more defined and you can see them more. So let's take, for example, your arms. If you want toned arms, we need to aim for overall fat reduction on the whole body because we can't spot reduce the arms, bonus myth there. And we want to build our muscle on our arms so we start to see it as well. So toning is actually a process of building the muscle and losing fat. Okay, myth number 2. You want to do more ab exercises to get a smaller waist and reduce the size of your tummy. So I get this a lot in my program that often people say there's not enough ab exercises in the program. But for me, doing ab exercises is not the best way to reduce the size of your tummy. Not even for me. For science, it's not the best way for reducing the size of your tummy. So your tummy is the size it is because of fat that's stored there, big potential bloating, and maybe relaxed muscle that needs to be toned. But just doing ab exercises on your tummy is not going to reduce the size of your tummy. Why? Because when we're using that ab muscle, such a small muscle, you're not getting the most bang for your buck in the movement. We want to be doing like big compound movements. We want to be doing squats and lunges and push-ups and deadlifts and rows. We're going to be using all the muscles in our body. We're going to be burning more fat, using more fuel, building more overall muscle, so speeding up our metabolism, and that will reduce the fat on your tummy. We'll also be toning your stomach by using it in different modalities. I use that word toning there, in different functionalities, as well as doing some specific ab exercises as well. But because when you're doing just ab exercises, like let's take a crunch, for example, you are just using that really small muscle, you're not getting bang for your buck, okay? So we want to reduce overall body fat by training the whole body in compound movements and a mixture of cardio and weightlifting and HIIT, and add in some specific core exercises as well to strengthen that core area also, okay? So just doing crunches is not going to give you a flat tummy. Also, the other point that has a huge part to play here is nutrition. So when you have your nutrition and you're in a calorie deficit and you're eating mostly whole foods, then you are going to see a reduction in the belly fat that you have there on your tummy, because your body's going to start to use up that stored fat for energy and your tummy will go down. So nutrition, full body training and a little bit of ab work sprinkled in. Okay, myth number 3, that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And I feel like this is something that we were told in the media like years and years and years ago, kind of when we were growing up, like breakfast is king, it's the most important meal of the day. And it's actually not true. No meal is the most important meal of the day. All of your nutrition is equally as important as each other. And it doesn't matter if you skip breakfast, doesn't matter if you have a huge breakfast. What matters is what you put into your body throughout the course of the 24 hours of the day, or over the course of the 7 days of the week even. And it matters what works for you. So everybody's different. Some people love breakfast. Personally, I really like to eat quite soon after waking up. It's just how I roll. I've always been like that, get it out the way. And at the moment, I obviously sit down with my daughter and we eat breakfast. And for some people, they're like not feeling that hungry in the morning. It makes them feel a bit sick and they need to be out the door, go into work. And then once they're at their desk, they can sit down and have something to eat. Everybody's different. Everyone's lifestyle is different. Everyone's routine is different. Your preference is different. And it doesn't matter. Like, it does not matter if you skip breakfast or if you have breakfast. But what matters is the overall nutrition in the day. So how many calories you're eating in the day, whether you actually calorie count or whether you just know from whether you gain weight or lose weight. And your actual nutritional intake in the day, like enough protein, enough fat, enough vegetables, enough, high fiber foods. This is what's going to matter, and not necessarily just in breakfast. Okay, number 4, I actually love this one. People don't believe me when I say this one, and I think that we need to shout this one from the rooftops. The myth is too many eggs are bad for you and eggs cause high cholesterol. So I don't know where this started, but it's been a huge thing that's been around for a long time, and it's still kind of hanging around, and people haven't cottoned on to the fact that it's not actually true, and there's science to prove that it's not true. So the thing is, it's the egg yolk that people think is high cholesterol and it's going to give you bad cholesterol. So the actual LDL, the cholesterol that's in the egg yolk, has been proven to lower your cholesterol levels. Also, in that egg yolk, it's like a little multivitamin. You've got vitamin D, you've got fats in there, you've got so much goodness packed into that. And then with the protein as well in the egg white, all of it together is like the perfect whole food. Eggs are so good for you. You should never be cutting them out of your diet. There are things that you should cut out of your diet, but you don't. But for some reason, eggs get demonized, and they're so good for you, and they're filling, and they're so nutritious. And yeah, they don't bring your cholesterol up. Let's kill that one. It's gone. It's dead. Eat some eggs. All right. I'm actually looking at my notepad for every single one because I cannot remember in my head. Here we go. Exercising every day will give you faster results. So I know it's so tempting because your like rational brain goes, okay, exercising is good for me. So if I do more of what's good for me, I'll get faster results. If I train twice a day, or if I train, 7 days a week, I'm going to get faster results. Oh, it doesn't work like that, okay? And not only are you going to get burnt out, but your body doesn't have time to recover and then hit the next workout nice and hard. A good program has rest days programmed into the program. How many times can you say program? You have to rest and recover different body parts so that the muscles can grow, and you want the muscles to grow because remember, you want that toned look. And you need to rest and recover. We don't want to get burnt out. We want to do this for the long term, okay? So don't exercise every single day. Make sure you program in rest days. It's just as important as everything else. But also remember that exercise, when I'm talking about exercise here, it's different from like daily movement. So getting your steps in, just generally moving about the day, maybe a very gentle yoga session or something, can be counted a bit more as like active recovery daily movement. But like full-on workouts and exercise sessions, we don't need to be going to the gym 7 days a week, okay? Not only do you not need to, but it's actually going to make your results come slower, all right? Okay, next one. What are we on? Number 6. This one we hear a lot as well. I bet you recognize it. Eating after 6 p.m. makes you fat. okay? Because there is a 6 p.m. fairy that comes in and sprinkles her magic wand on your food, and it just becomes more highly calorific after 6 p.m. If you think about it with your rational brain, now if you've been listening to this podcast, you know like calories in and calories out, and your relationship to food and your mindset and your habits and is much more important than these kind of things. You know it can't be true, right? Eating a slice of pizza at 4 p.m. and eating a slice of pizza at 6 p.m. is not going to make any difference. It's not like your metabolism starts to slow down at the end of the day. So the reason this kind of rule came in, I think, this rule, is because people tend to overeat in the evenings. And if you shorten the window that you can eat, it's much easier for you to stay in a calorie deficit. So once again, it's always coming back to that calorie deficit, and it's just different ways of doing it. But it seemed to get into this thought of calories after 6 p.m. are like, you know, bigger and more nasty than calories before 6 p.m. But the main thing is, once again, it matters what you eat in the whole day, your nutrition in the whole day, your calorie intake in the whole day or in the whole week. And it doesn't matter the timing of where you put that food. So if you struggle to stop eating at the end of the day and you're like eating all the way up to bedtime, it might be good to put like a little stopper on yourself and a little rule for yourself just to rein it in a little bit. Because when you're tired at the end of the day, or when you're sitting on the couch and watching TV and it's a bit more mindless eating, it might be a bit easier to overeat at the end of the day. But having dinner at 8 o'clock at night, having dinner at 9 o'clock at night, it's not bad for you. It's not going to make you gain weight. It'll only make you gain weight if having that late dinner means that you've overeaten in your calories throughout the day. So if you've had too much throughout the whole day, okay? And another little point there, I would say you want to leave about 90 minutes before you go to bed, between eating and going to bed. You're just going to have a more restful night's sleep because your liver's not like, whoa, 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 and like your stomach's not like, digest, digest, digest. You're just going to have a more restful sleep if you've already digested everything. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, where are we? Number 7, cardio/running is best for weight loss. So what's best for weight loss is what works for you. Number 1, if you flipping love running, it's going to be great for weight loss, but I do literally beg you on my hands and knees to add in some resistance training as well, so we can strengthen your muscles as well as just running and cardio. Weight loss is about a calorie deficit, and it's about doing what is right for you. That could be cardio, that could be Zumba, that could be weightlifting, it could be whatever works for you, or a combination of lots of different things. But running is not the magic pill for weight loss. The good thing about running is it's free, gets you out in the fresh air. It's quite a nice thing to do mindfully. Like you could tend to concentrate on your breathing. So it's quite good for, you know, bringing those stress levels down in that way. And it's great for getting your fitness levels up. So running has a great part to play in a lot of people's lives. Not everyone enjoys it because it is quite a high barrier to entry, as in it's quite hard for a newbie fitness gal to go for a run, but you can build it up and you can walk over time and get faster and faster, do little intervals, try a bit of jogging, try a bit of walking, do the couch to 5K, that's amazing. But running is not the be all and end all of weight loss and fat loss. Actually, what we need to do, and what I prescribe for weight loss, is to do some form of resistance training, because we want to use our muscles. We want to build strong muscles, because then our muscles are burning more calories throughout the 24 hours of the day rather than just in that workout session. So rather than just the run burns 300 calories or just the workout burns 400 calories, if you're starting to build up some muscle on your body throughout the course of the day, you are burning more calories, okay? So that is the best for weight loss. And also for posture, for any muscle pain, joint pain, it's so good for you. But generally a combination of everything works really well. So a combination of kind of HIIT training and a bit of lifting some weights and a little bit of running sprinkled in for your fitness and for your mental health as well. But at the end of the day, you just got to do what you enjoy, otherwise nothing's going to work, right? If I say to you, okay, we're going to train to run a marathon, and you're like, but I hate running, we're never going to get there. So do what suits you, but I do recommend doing some resistance training of some form, okay? Alrighty, here we go. Number 8, protein shakes make you bulky. I bet some of you out there have thought this before. When I recommend someone might need a protein supplement in their diet, they tend to say, this not always, but I can hear from people that they want to shy away from a supplement, or, oh, do I really need a protein shake? It's a bit bro. It's a bit like, yeah, I'm going to do my shake after I smash some weights in the gym. And I think that that needs to just disappear, because it's completely not true. So if I said to you, okay, let's eat a piece of fish, or let's have chicken burgers tonight, or would you say, oh no, I don't want to eat that because I don't want to get bulky? No. And protein shakes is just protein derived from milk in whey protein, or you can get vegan blends, which is like pea and hemp and all sorts of wonderful things. So it's just the protein from food concentrated down. So that makes life a lot easier. If you don't want to be slamming a can of tuna to get your protein goals up, then maybe a protein shake's really going to help you out. It's just like, imagine if the doctor said, okay, you're a little bit low in vitamin B12. You need to take a vitamin B12 supplement to bring that up, or eat these certain foods to bring it up. You know, possibly eating all the certain foods might not be, you know, fitting into your day very well, and this might not be possible. So maybe the supplement is the easier option for you. Protein shakes is like that. It's just the easier option to get some protein into your body. And I think now we're all becoming a little bit more aware of how much meat we're eating. A lot of people, you know, want to bring their consumption of meat down. So having a protein shake is so handy. Now, we need that protein if we're on any kind of journey. If you just want to be nourished and not malnourished, you need a decent amount of protein in your body. You need, I think it's, off the top of my head, maybe it's over 40 grams a day. 40 is like malnourished, okay? So you need to have a decent amount of protein in your body. If you're training, if you're breaking down your muscle fibers through training, you need to build them back up, and protein is the building blocks that are going to do that. It's going to help you build stronger muscles, and in turn is going to help you lose weight. Protein also has a thermogenic effect, so it actually takes more energy to digest it. So you're burning more calories by having it in your diet. It also balances out the nutrients on your plate. So you want to make sure you add protein into a meal so you're not getting blood sugar level spikes. But I can't even express how important it is, and it's something that people really miss out of their diet so much, because even when people go to eat a healthy diet, they eat a lot of carbs because you're eating like grains and vegetables and all these wonderful things, but you're missing often fats and protein. So a protein supplement is well handy. Now, if you don't like the super like processed sweet proteins, then go find a natural one. There's loads of good brands out there now. There's loads of research done. The quality of protein powders is amazing. I recommend not just like getting one from your local supermarket. I personally use MyProteincom because it's like fairly affordable. Their quality has gone up loads recently. It mixes well, the flavors are good, they always have good deals on. I just like the product, and once I find something I like, and I'm the kind of person that I do want things to be affordable, yeah, I stick with it. So check that out, myprotein.com.co.uk.es, wherever you are. There's a pretty decent one. But yeah, it doesn't make you bulky. What makes you bulky is overeating in your calories, so being in a calorie surplus, and training for years to build up muscle. It takes such a long time to build up muscle. You see these beautiful bodybuilders, these women who have got big muscles, it takes them such a long time to get there. Protein is a part of their diet, the same as carbs are, the same as fat is. And it's very specific, and they have to be in a calorie surplus to build that amount of muscle. So you're not going to get bulky, you're just having the correct amount of nutrients. And now if you are unsure of like how much protein you should be having, then why don't you get on something like MyFitnessPal? I've got a great video of MyFitnessPal and how to use it here, and it actually can set your protein goals for you in there as well. So try it, and don't be scared. Okay, are you still with me? We are on myth number 9. So this one is eating little and often to lose weight. So I grew up with this like, oh yeah, I like to eat little and often phrase. It's my mum likes to eat little and often. And I kind of like to eat little and often. I like to snack throughout the day, but this is not the way to lose weight. And as we've talked about throughout this podcast already, without sounding like a broken record, the way to lose weight is to be in the right calorie balance. So it doesn't matter if you eat little and often, or if you eat 3 big meals a day, or if you eat 1 big meal a day. The only thing I'd say with eating 1 big meal a day is the digestive discomfort you're going to get from eating 1 big meal in the day, and possibly not the range of nutrients that you would have if you ate different things during the day. But once again, it comes back to that, like, what suits you? Are you someone that's like likes to eat a little bit and snack on different things? Or do you like 1 big meal or 3 big meals? Now, the only thing that can be the problem with eating little and often is that it can lead to overeating, because you might not actually be full from each meal, and then it just causes you to like carry on snacking. So you want to make sure you're full and satisfied from your meal, so that you can then have a break and let yourself digest the food, let your body put its energy and blood somewhere else, maybe your brain rather than your tummy for a little while. And then you can go on and eat another meal once you're hungry again and once your body needs it. So it's, once again, it's whatever works for you to keep you eating the right amount of food for your body, okay? Number 10. This is like a phrase. I lost weight because I cut carbs. So you all have a friend who's lost weight because they're like, yeah, I just cut out carbs. I didn't eat bread, I didn't eat pasta, I didn't eat potatoes, and they lost weight. So the reason that Jane, let's call her, lost weight was not necessarily, or not even because she cut out the carbohydrates. The carbohydrates don't make you fat. What she did was cut out a big source of most of her food. So if before, Jane was getting most of her calories from cereal and toast in the morning, sandwich for lunch, pasta for dinner, and then crisps with wine in the evening, if she cuts those things out, what's left? Lean protein, vegetables, fruit. Fruit and vegetables are a carb, by the way, so she didn't cut out carbs. But what she has done is just cut out those calorie-dense, really palatable food sources. So it's not the carbohydrates, it's the calories once again. And like things like pasta, it's so easy to be like, oh, like slam a whole bowl of pasta. You know, biscuits, crisps, they're so highly palatable. It's easy just to like, just eat so much of them. Like, who's like binging on apples? No one. But who's binging on chocolate digestives? Me. So that just goes to show that like it's so easy to overeat those foods, and it's not the carbohydrates that were the problem, it's the overeating in general. And sometimes cutting out like trigger foods can be a really useful way to curb that overeating. But sometimes knowing that you're like, I can't have bread, it just makes you want more bread. So you have to balance it out and find out what works for you. In my world, I don't like to take anything off the plate. I don't like to demonize anything. I just like to make sure I've got a good balance and kind of eat what I want. But what I want tends to be mostly healthy foods. But I did eat for breakfast today toast with Nutella and peanut butter because that's what I damn fancied. So these things, it's all about balance. It's all about your perspective, and cutting out the carbs isn't going to make you lose fat. What cutting out the carbs will do is help you lose water weight, because there is 4 grams of water for every gram of carbohydrates in your body. So you're going to be like, whew, lost loads of weight on the scale, feeling proper snatched, and it's water weight. As soon as you go, drink some water, eat some carbs again, you're going to pop it back on. Number 11, if you're not sore, you didn't work hard enough. So you know that feeling from when you do a workout, and it's usually when you start a program, you do a new workout, or you try some new moves out, that ache in your muscles. Sometimes it's so bad you can't sit down on the toilet the next day. Sometimes it's just a really nice ache that's like, oh yeah, I worked hard yesterday, and you can literally feel like which muscles you worked. That's great, and that should happen from time to time. when you change up your program, when you start lifting heavier weights, when you do new moves, when you use different muscle groups, if you start to like do a different style of training, then yeah, you're going to feel it. And from time to time you should, because your training should be on like cycles almost. You should be changing things up from time to time. But I don't want you to have that feeling after every single workout. If you don't have that feeling after a workout, like the next day or the day after, it's called DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, doesn't mean you didn't work hard. It just means your body's getting really good at what you're doing. You don't actually want to put your body through that much stress all the time, okay? So don't worry if you're not sore. Doesn't mean you didn't work hard. That's a complete myth. Okay, number 12. Low-fat foods make you lose fat, or high-fat foods make you gain fat. Right, let's shout it from the rooftops now. Fat doesn't make you gain fat. Calorie surplus makes you store fat on your body. That's it. So I think 80s, 90s, low-fat diets were the trend. You know, we had a lot of low-fat foods come in. Low fat is on the packaging of everything. And because the word fat we associate with fat that's stored on our body, we just make that association. And of course, you don't know any better. Fat in food makes fat on my body. Of course, that just makes complete sense. But it doesn't. It all needs to be in a balance. Fat is so flipping good for you. You need it for all your organ functions. You need it for good brain function. You need it to absorb vitamins and minerals. You need it for energy. You need it to keep your body warm. It's just so flipping important for your body. If we cut out fat, you are not going to be optimal in your health. So saying that, eating too many high-fat foods, there's 9 calories per gram of fat. And there's 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates and protein. So you can see if you're eating a lot of high-fat foods, and that could even be avocados and peanut butter and coconut oil, whatever it is, you're not going to be able to eat as much food for the amount of calories you need. So you might end up gaining fat because you're in a calorie surplus. Oh my God, there's such a theme of this. Get in the right calorie balance. But you still need the fat in your body, but sometimes it's better to have, not sometimes, always, better to have some lean proteins and some, or even fatty proteins. I don't know why I'm saying lean proteins. Like even meat with fat, it's good for you. Animal fats, it's good for you. But we want lots of vegetables and nice grains, and we want a nice balance because then we can eat more for the amount of calories. But fat is a part of that. And I touched on it a tiny bit earlier, but you want to add fat to your carbohydrates to lessen the blood sugar level spike that happens from eating carbohydrates. And it slows down the emptying of your stomach, so it keeps you fuller for longer. So fat is so important when you're losing weight and to anyone for optimal health. So don't opt for the low-fat food. Only go for the low-fat food. Here's an example of when you'd go for a low-fat food, right? I love avocado, so I want to have a full avocado for breakfast. For my snack, I'm not going to go for a full-fat yogurt because I've already eaten a lot of fat in the day from just having that avocado. So I'm going to go for the 0%, total yogurt, Greek yogurt, to balance my fat throughout the day. But if I was someone who, like for breakfast, I want muesli and fruit, and I'm not going to eat much more fats throughout the day, then I'm going to go full fat yogurt at breakfast because then it balances out throughout the day. And full fat Greek yogurt, oh, so good. But yeah, so hopefully you can get the idea there. Nothing's demonized. It's all about just balancing, knowing which foods contain fat and just keeping it under wraps so that we don't over-consume in calories. Once again, theme of the show. Okay, let's move on to point number 13. Oh my God. I think this is my favorite one, guys. I think we need a drum roll for this point. Insert drum roll. Detox. The myth of detoxing. I might rub some people up the wrong way with this one because people love a good detox. And why do people want a detox? Because they probably feel like they over-toxified, whatever that means, by drinking too much, eating too much bad foods, and they want to lose weight. And they literally feel like, no, I just want to get it all off. It's that feeling. It's that quick fix feeling. So there was an inquiry, hang on, let me just read this so I don't get it wrong. A 2009 investigation found that 10 detox companies couldn't name one single toxin that their products got rid of in the body. So when they say they're detoxing, they actually need to put inverted commas around it, because they're not even detoxing. What is even detoxing? So your liver, your kidneys, your lungs, like every organ in your body is constantly detoxing on a regular basis. That's what they do in your body. That's what they are there for. You know, when you sleep, it helps you detox more, and you can eat certain foods which support your liver and support your kidneys. Lots of fibrous vegetables and lots of vitamins and minerals, great. But your body does a great job of detoxifying naturally. If it didn't, we wouldn't be able to survive as a human race. And we've survived a really long time before green juice detoxes. When you go on a detox, and you're basically starving yourself and just having some juices or something, you are depleting your body's glycogen stores. Glycogen, like your carbohydrate stores. Let's put it like that, okay? And as I said earlier, your carbohydrate is tied to water. So when you're getting rid of your glycogen, you're losing the weight of getting rid of that glycogen. And the water, 4 grams of water for every gram of glycogen, you're getting rid of that water as well. So of course you're going to lose weight. You're probably under eating in calories as well. So you're gonna chip into those fat stores. So you're going to have that initial weight loss of your glycogen stores and your water stores going. And then you're probably going to have to eat into your fat stores after that, because you're just not consuming enough. But actually it can make the process harder for your natural body's detoxifying process. It can inhibit it by going on a juice cleanse, because you're not feeding your liver and your kidneys and your lungs and all your organs what they actually need, which is fats, proteins, lots of fiber. In these juices, there's no enzymes, there's no fiber. Your body needs these things to detox. So it's a trend, and people might feel good after it because they lose that initial weight. As soon as you go back to eating real food, that glycogen will come back because your body wants it and needs it, because it's your body's energy, and the water will come back that's stored with it, and you'll gain the weight again. And you cannot sustain that calorie deficit for an extended period of time. So you just can't keep it up. So if you're doing it for weight loss, terrible idea. But one thing that is good about a detox like juice cleanse is that you are adding more vitamins and minerals into your diet than you were before. So that's going to make you feel really good. But what if you ate proper food, real food, proteins, vegetables, fruits, all the good stuff, maybe some juices added in, and added in some nice fats and everything, and you just cleaned out the things that were making you feel bad, so processed foods, alcohol, sugary stuff. If you just remove those a little bit for a 7-day period, you're going to feel even better. So don't be fooled into thinking a detox juice cleanse is the answer. What is the real answer is to working on your nutrition for the long term and how you can keep this up for the long term. You can have a week where you're like, okay, I'm going to slam the vegetables this week. I really need to lay off the wine this week. You can have a week like that. And then it's like, okay, and now I'm going to add in a glass of wine, a little bit of chocolate here and there, just to kind of have a more normal life. But detoxing and then binging and then detoxing and then binging is just another form of a yo-yo diet. And your body is going to suffer in the long term. So hopefully that makes sense. I've never done a detox myself. I can't see the point in it. I did a 1-day juice retreat thing one time, and it wasn't for me. I didn't like it. I went home and ate a whole bowl of chocolate granola because I was absolutely starving. And I felt sick from having apple cider vinegar and bone broth and green juice and turmeric all day. And putting those things into your body has a really beneficial effect. All of those nutrients I ate in that day, brilliant, but can I just have them with a chicken salad? Like I just need the real food because, you know, I train hard, I've got muscle on my body, I need to support that. And that is my thoughts on detoxing. Are you ready for number 14? Exercising on an empty stomach helps you burn more fat. So, if you're going to do a really high intense session, HIIT training, a lot of heavy weights, sprint, something like that, you're going to want to eat before that session. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to give it your full capacity, your full energy. You're not going to be able to get the most out of that session. If you're going to do something like a really low impact jog or a walk or, you know, something a lot more low impact, there's no science really to show that either way is beneficial. And this is why. Of course, if you don't eat before you go for a jog, your body is going to use up what it's already got stored. That's kind of a no-brainer. It's not going to use the fuel and the energy that's coursing through the blood right now because that's what I've just eaten. It's going to use up what it's already got stored there. But it doesn't have an effect on how you use that during the rest of the day. So if you're still eating the same amount during the rest of the day, it's not going to matter whether you used up that stored fat there or you used it up later. And it all comes into that, you know, that once again, the amount of calories you eat in a 24-hour period. So don't be fooled into thinking that you need to do fasted exercise in the morning. If you enjoy working out on an empty tummy and that feels better for you, or if you need to get your workout done first thing because you don't have time to like eat and then let it settle, go for it. It suits you, it's right for you. But for me personally, I need to eat before a workout session, otherwise I am not working hard in that session and it feels like a waste of time. Because I want to get the most effect out of each workout as possible. I'm not going to be wasting my time fanning around, feeling all faint. I need food in my body. So you do what's right for you, but my advice is to eat before a workout and think about your day as a whole. What are you doing during the whole day? Okay, the final myth I want to touch on is that you have to do everything perfectly to get good results. So you don't have to be hitting the gym 5 days a week. You don't have to be eating a green smoothie every morning. You don't have to be hitting your calorie target every day. You don't have to be hitting 10,000 steps a day. You don't have to be meditating every single day. You do not have to be perfect to get results. All you have to do is put one foot in front of the other in the direction of where you want to go. You'll find out things along the way and you'll figure out what's right for you, what's wrong for you. But as long as you consistently keep making changes that are health focused, mental health focused, well-being focused, and changes that are there to better you as a person, then you are going to keep progressing. The thing that derails people the most is when they put too much pressure on themselves to be perfect. So that is the little myth I wanted to bust there. You don't have to be perfect to get good results. You just have to keep on bloody going, working hard towards your goal, and that's it. Okay, so I really enjoyed doing this little myth-busting podcast. If you enjoyed it too, let me know. We can do a part 2. You can send in more myths to me. Maybe you've heard some crazy things. Maybe your granny tells you something and your mum tells you something. I really want to know. Let's bust them out. Let's bust them together, because I think that there's so much misinformation out there that we need to be like warriors, cutting through and just making ourselves better, making our friends feel better, making our family feel better, and we can all be in a happier, healthier world. How lovely, wouldn't that be nice? So once again, thanks so much for listening. I love sharing these podcasts with you. Please like, please subscribe, please leave a review. It helps me out so much. Like all of this that I do it for free because I love it. So a little like or a little subscribe is like ding, ding, ding for me. So it really makes my day. And have a great day because you deserve it. And I'll see you in the next episode.